Do you believe in UFOs? Let's talk about it. Hi everybody, how y'all doing today? Well, you might have heard me the other day mention this story about some UFOs. And I got to thinking about it and I thought, well, you know what? I might as well, since I've already got it on my brain, I might as well just go ahead and tell everybody. So that's what this video is going to be about. Alright, so here's the story. I was a teenager, a young teenager. And we lived down south in Missouri. And we had just built a house, and it had like a basement, you know, that you'd come outside of with a sliding glass door, and stand on a concrete pad, and then we'd go out into the backyard, which is basically a forest, woods, if you will. Well, a friend of mine was over, and I think he may have been spending the night. I don't remember exactly, but I know it was real late at night, and we went outside. It was like fall time, and we were looking up at the stars. Well, speaking of which, there's a rainbow up there. Huh. But so we were looking up at the stars, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, from as far as you could see in the horizon, from that way, and another way, came these points of lights. Just, I mean, the speed of light, just, and they all gathered together, and they just kind of hovered around each other there for a minute or so, like they were having a conversation. And then as quickly as they came, they dispersed, and all the way across the horizon again, different directions. Now, I remember we looked at each other. Did you see that? It's like, yeah, did you see that? You know, and it's etched in my brain. I'll never forget it. Now, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was definitely an unidentified flying objects. And to the best of my knowledge, man has not created something that will go the speed of light like that and hover without movement for very long. So I put together this little reenactment, if you will, of what it looked like. And I kept messing with it till I got it to where it was highly resembles what I remember seeing. And I'm going to inject that somewhere along in the video here and let you see a representation of what I saw. Now, I don't want to hear any fake, you know, it's a fraud, he made that. Well, of course I made it. You know, I didn't have a camera back then. But I'm trying to show you better than just tell you. Okay? Picture's worth a million words, right? Something like that. That was one of the adventures, as far as my UFO tales go. There's another one that I remember from just a couple years ago. As a matter of fact, Pat and I were camping at a place called Holiday Lake here in Missouri. It's just a small little pay per use type lake where you can camp and fish and, you know, goof around with your family and stuff. And there's a little picture of it, of what it looks like in the daylight. And then, well, again, this is going to be a reenactment of what we saw that night. Now, Pat saw it too. And from across the lake and up over the hill behind the trees came these lights. And they would elevate and they would go back down. And they would elevate and they'd side shift. And they'd elevate and then they'd descend. and it'd side shift, and then it'd go back down behind this hill. And it repeatedly did this. Now, mind you, could not hear a thing. Couldn't hear a helicopter, couldn't hear an airplane. It was quiet as the dead. I mean, you might hear a frog, you know, doing what they do, you know, or something like that in the night, and maybe some crickets or stuff like that, but, you know, and birds, that kind of stuff. But if it had been a helicopter that far away, I believe I would have heard it. But this thing did that. We were fishing at the lake is how we happened to see it, because we were sitting there looking out over the water, and it just came right into our line of sight. And I quit fishing and went and got my binoculars from our camping gear and was trying to zero in on it as best I could, but they just weren't powerful enough to get a good view of what it was. And even at night, with it just being at some lights, I wasn't going to be able to make out the shape of the craft. Well, I might have if I had a super binocular, you know, or something. But anyway, that thing stood there and we watched it for hours. And it just kept doing that. And it was never the same exact movements over and over and over. It was always just like somebody holding on a joystick, you know, just toying. And now this one could have been a helicopter. I mean, just because I couldn't hear it doesn't mean it wasn't. But highly suspect of definitely being unidentified. But the first one, no doubt in my mind that was something it wasn't on this earth. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to piece this all together to where it kind of makes sense with me talking in the background and you watching what the things I created. And let me know what you think. Think I'm full of crap? Think I'm, you know, gotta remember, I was young. I never messed with any drinking or doping or nothing like that, you know. And now the second one, you know, as years later and things had happened, you know what I mean. But I'm not proclaiming that that second one was from out of this earth. That could have been explainable. But the first one, I just cannot imagine. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in to Tough Dog's Tales and UFO stories. And yeah, I'll see you guys. Thanks for coming by and listening to that, checking it out. I appreciate you. Let me know what you think. If you've ever had any experiences, share them with me, man. I'd like to hear them. And that'd be great. Oh, all right. Take care, and bye-bye. I just want to inject this, that anybody that truly believes that we are the only entity in this, not Earth, world, solar systems go on forever. And if anyone thinks that we're the only ones existing with any sense of being able to build a flight machine, got news for you, man. We ain't alone. You know what I mean? I think Big Brother's been watching us for years. They may even have bad plans for us. Woo! Wouldn't that be something? You know, we could be an experiment. We could be under a microscope. See ya. Bye-bye.